Many who have heard me preach know that I usually begin with an opening prayer. And this prayer is meant to remind myself that the work I do is not of me. It is God's work. The words which God has given are the only words I pray for. While I do know that my human nature can get in the way, I hope and pray that this is not the case each and every week. There's a passage in the Gospel of John, chapter 3. Now, it's not the one you normally think of when you hear these words. John 3, probably 16? No. The verse I'm thinking of here is verse 30. He must increase, but I must decrease. These words are spoken by John the Baptist, and I think we all know that this John was an extrovert by nature, a type A personality, outgoing, and sometimes maybe even a bit boisterous. John was used to being in the spotlight, garnering much of the attention in any circumstance. You probably know someone like this, or maybe it's you. But here's the thing. John knew what he was called to do. His purpose in life was to prepare the way for Jesus. I guess you could say that John was Jesus' hype man. I might make a reference here to DJ Khaled, but I'm not sure how many would understand. Well, anyway, John is traveling around proclaiming the Messiah was coming. In fact, he gives a wonderful witness in the first chapter of who Jesus really is. Of course, everyone wants to know who this man is, and so they ask him who he is, and John responds, saying that he is not the Christ. You see, he said he is the one crying in the wilderness to prepare the way, a prophecy we hear from Isaiah. But in this third chapter, we hear John in a new light. While he may have been center stage for a while, Jesus is beginning his ministry. It seems that there is a problem within the community as to who they should be listening to or following. John seems to realize this when he is approached by some people about Jesus, baptizing all over the Judean countryside. Concerned about two people doing this, the people raised the question. John recognizes that he has prepared the way and that Jesus' ministry has begun. It's now time to step down or step aside so that God's plan will be accomplished. This is where we get these words about John decreasing and Jesus increasing. The original Greek speaks about it being necessary that Jesus increase. Therefore, it is necessary for John to decrease. I like the way Eugene Peterson translates it. This is the assigned moment for him to move into the center, while I slip off to the sidelines. I shared earlier that I want to be sure that I move to the sidelines during the moment that God's message is shared in worship. I want God's words to be in the spotlight, not his flawed servant. I had people share with me that a message really touched them. It spoke directly to their hearts. And my constant response is that if that was the case, it certainly wasn't me, but that God spoke through me that day. I wonder where those places are in your life, where you need to step aside and let Jesus take the spotlight. Where do you need to allow him to increase while you decrease? Just a little something to think about. From the Field Journal, March 25th.